Yeah.
All right, just another couple minutes here. Try to fix the audio and we will resume. Well, if we do that, then, yeah.
Yep.
We should be good to go now, guys.
Thank you.
All right, and we're back. Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum? Please come to the microphone here, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online that now can hear us and see us that would like to address the council on item 2, Citizens Forum? Just give a couple seconds here. Okay, I think I'm safe to say, hearing and seeing no one, Citizens Forum is closed. Moving on to item 3, Mayor, Council, Manager Report, Other Entities Update. We're going to start with item 3A, which is the Neighborhood Finance Corporation presentation. Come on up.
Hi, thank you for having me this evening. My name is Stephanie Murphy, and I'm the Executive Director of Neighborhood Finance Corporation. And hopefully all of you know that West Des Moines is one of our participating municipalities that we do lending in. And so I'm here just to give you a quick update on what we've done in the past year and what we have going forward in 2024. Just a little bit about myself. I've been the Executive Director for 10 years as of in a couple weeks here, and I actually started at Neighborhood Finance Corporation earlier on in my career as a loan originator and was an underwriter. So I've spent the bulk of my career there. NFC is going to be celebrating in May our 34th anniversary, and at the last slide I'll have, we're going to have an open house because we also moved to a new location. So just a little bit about us. Just to remind you, these are the 2 areas that we lend in. There is an interactive map on our website. Please stop me if you have questions too, or you can ask at the end. But this is where we lend in West Des Moines. We do purchase, refinance, and home improvement lending. Every loan that we do is paired with a forgivable loan up to $10,000 that comes from the funds that you provide through a 2080 agreement for the forgivable loans. A couple of things that happened in West Des Moines and throughout our organization really in 2023, and I'm going to go into more detail in some of these programs in the following slides, but we launched the Energy Advantage program. We've committed $157,500 of the West Des Moines funds to that, and it's a program that's paired with our lending programs, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. We also were really fortunate to get $11 million from Polk County. $4 million of that went to a county-wide down payment program, and we deployed about $4 million of that, or committed it all in 2023, and did 8 of those home buyers purchased homes in West Des Moines. We also launched the Polk County Large Renovation Program that we partner with Christine and with Kay on here in West Des Moines, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as well. And then we do work with the Historic West Des Moines program and partner our lending programs with the subsidies you're able to provide. And we've helped 3 people in the past couple of years. And there's some numbers there on that. So the Energy Advantage Program, this really came out of, though we're not using ARPA money in West Des Moines, when the ARPA money came out, we sort of thought, what are some things that could really move the needle for homeowners and home buyers on? And, with rising interest rate and costs, we thought if we can reduce their energy costs, we can reduce their overall housing costs. And something I should mention in that just vein, though we don't have income guidelines for our program, anyone can participate. The majority of the folks that we serve are low income or live in a low income neighborhood or both. So just so if you're talking with people out in the community, anybody that's in the lending area can access our programs. But so what we did is we have our lending program paired with our forgivable loan, and then we add on a $10,000 deferred loan. We do an energy audit, and we determine what are those things that the homeowner can do to reduce their energy cost, and then they have an additional $10,000 to do those. They can do more, so we have people that do solar that cost more than that, but then that's part of the loan program or the forgivable loan. So it's been a really great program for us, and we've seen a lot of benefit, and we hope that we'll be able to continue it as the Inflation Reduction Act money becomes available. The Polk County Large Renovation Program came out of this idea of, as you've probably heard, sometimes the program can help part of what somebody needs done. This is for low-income homeowners only. But there's not enough money, even when all of our programs work together, there's not enough money. So this gives us an extra $50,000 per home to really make sure that that family is going to be safe for years to come, that they're not going to need, we're going to replace their furnace, and now they're going to need their roof in a couple of years. We're going to take care of everything at once. I really see it as preventing homelessness, keeping people in stable housing, keeping neighborhoods strong by not having the deferred maintenance. So this has been a great program for us. And as you can see, it's, we've done lots of different kinds of repairs, and we're just getting going on it. We have $6 million to spend, and we've gotten to about $1 million since this report was done. And then the down payment program was the rest of that $11 million, and that those monies are pretty much all committed, though I'm in the middle of writing a grant right now so we can have that program continually going on. So hopefully in 2025, we'll have something to announce that we can do that. And that's sort of the idea is that if we can get capital, it allows us then to go, we're CDFI, so it allows us to go to the CDFI fund, and we can show that we can deploy the money, and it makes us more competitive to get those federal dollars to bring them locally. This is just a summary of what we did overall as an organization, which is in the orange. We're a NeighborWorks organization. NeighborWorks America is a national nonprofit that we're a charter of. And that we're really proud of that, the economic engine that we created 100 or maintained 179 jobs in the metro. And also that for every dollar of local funds that we received in West Des Moines, we leveraged that with over $7 of private and federal funds. So a little bit of information there for you. And then another program that we just want to highlight is our Journey to Homeownership. We launched this in 2022, and it is specifically for African-American households, communities, or African-American Black households. We hope to expand to other communities of color in the future. But we have $2 million that we applied for and received through federal funding and community grants. To date, we've provided 30 educational classes. 200 people have come to those, and of that, 22 homebuyers have received down payment assistance and purchased their home through this program, for a total of $267,000 in down payment assistance. And then the last slide, and then if you have any questions, we are having an open house. I invite you all. You'll probably get an email too in the coming week or so, but it's May 7th at our new building. Just for reference, if you've lived in the metro for a while, it's where Stogdale's was many years ago, and we've renovated, and it looks very different from when it was Stogdale's. Got rid of the funny roof, and so we're going to have an open house and celebrate our 35th a year early, I guess, on our 34th. Any questions for me?
Thank you so much for the presentation. I guess I'll start us off really quick. Number one, I would just say thank you for all you do to put people in homes and to keep people there. We really appreciate our partnership with you and appreciate all that you do. Just a quick question, and that is that there were 8 recipients of the money that you talked about from Polk County that were in West Des Moines, 240,000 of the 4-point-some-odd million. I guess, what do you do to market this program, get the word out, and how many total recipients were there, and how much total money was given out if there were 8 in West Des Moines and 240,000 deployed here? And how do we get more West Des Moines people to be made aware of this?
It was pretty much through realtors and lenders, because we weren't the only lender on it. So it was lenders that were in Polk County. And so I think we served about 145, but through the end of last year, 137 families. I think that's sort of when I was saying we're applying for more money. Our goal, because this is deferred money, so when people sell their home or do a cash out refinance, they'll pay the money back and pass it on to the next low-income homeowner. And so our goal is to get enough money in a pool that it's continual so that we can do a better job of marketing it. But, yeah.
Well, anything we can do to help you get
Yep.
the word out there, to get more West Des Moines families to be made aware of this money and take advantage of the money, let us know. We're
Yeah.
happy to do that. But again, really appreciate the partnership.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Hardman.
Yeah, first of all, Stephanie, thank you for your presentation and the work that you do in spaces that really, really matter. I think all of us in this room know that home ownership is a way of building wealth, and when we can break down barriers for folks that have not had that kind of equal access to this kind of opportunity, that is how we grow as communities. So I want to say thank you very, very much. The mission of what you do is vitally important. I do want to say that I would try to get the word out to many nonprofits. I am a new president and CEO of LSI. I could see you coming in and talking to some of our folks about this
Yes.
particular program, who we're trying to resettle and get homes and all of this stuff. So try to find as many nonprofits as you can to really, really spread the word, because they are really working with some of the clients
Right.
and stakeholders that you're trying to serve. So keep letting your light shine on home ownership for marginalized communities. It's critical. So thank you.
Yes, and we would love to do more, as
Yeah.
like if you're in a nonprofit,
Yeah.
like your marketing budget is about a tenth of, a tenth
Yeah.
would be generous of what it should be.
Yeah.
But we try, and we have a really dedicated staff. I think we went to 245 events last year.
That's wonderful.
And of a staff of 23 in
Wow.
the Des Moines Metro, so we
awesome.
try,
That's
yeah,
great. That's all you can do.
yeah.
Okay, any other questions, comments, and then we're going to move on.
Yeah, just quick, thank you for being here, for your presentation. Are you familiar with our Historic Valley Junction program that we have in the city of West Des Moines? Okay,
So, and I had a slide on there that we have partnered, so when your
Okay.
money isn't enough, they'll come to us for a loan.
fantastic.
Yep,
All right, very
we
good. I
do.
just
We
want to
work
make sure
really
there's
close.
a sufficient
We- super
collaboration
close.
there. All right, very good. Thank you.
Yes. Great, thank you so much. You'll
Okay.
take care of this, Ryan.
Stephanie, thank you so
for your
much. All right,
support.
we're going to move on to item 3B, West Des Moines Chamber of Commerce update. The Chamber, welcome to the council chambers.
I don't know if to do that. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, do it to it.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Catherine Harrington. I'm the very proud president and CEO of the West Des Moines Chamber of Commerce. I am here with Kara Matheson, our vice president of workforce and culture, and our Tom Florian, our vice president of membership and strategic marketing. So we appreciate your time. We have a 5-minute presentation, and I'm very excited. Renee Hardman is on our board of directors. She is the mayor's liaison. So this is so wonderful. We appreciate this opportunity. We are a small but mighty team of 7. We produce 150 events and gatherings per year. We have 25 committees and microgroups. We really have programs for every person in our community and beyond. We've won 15 plus awards for our programs and our people, including the city. And this is my 4th year anniversary to this day of being president and CEO of the West Des Moines Chamber, and it's been an incredible honor. I can't believe 4 years has gone by like that. April Fool's Day, the joke's on me. Love it. It's the best job I've ever had in my life. So, but our whole sole mission in life, our whole purpose is to really put a spotlight on West Des Moines to make us the best city in America to live, work, and play. Everything we do follows that. These are our key pillars: workforce development, talent attraction, retention, member growth and support, supporting those 830 some odd businesses. Diversity, equity, inclusion really weaves throughout everything we do, and community attraction and placemaking. So those are our missions in life, and I appreciate your time. Tom Florian.
Thanks, Catherine. Just a few things that have happened over the last year that we wanted to take a moment to note. As Catherine mentioned, we're over 820 members. When Catherine started, I believe the number was in the 500s. So we've seen significant growth over the last 4 years, I should say. 160 plus new members since January of last year. So you can see in the last year and a half, 14, 18 months, we've had significant growth as an organization. We average about 50 ribbon cuttings per year, which means a lot of new businesses are being established in West Des Moines, folks that are renovating their spaces. We're excited to partner with the city on those developments. In terms of communication and marketing influence, we have over 17,000 social media followers to help tell the story of our business community here in West Des Moines, 5,000 plus email subscribers that are receiving over 160 digital communications each year. We as an organization host over 150 events and gatherings each year to provide opportunity for professional growth, networking, connection for folks at all stages of their careers, from interns all the way up to C-suite executives. 25 plus committees and groups, as Catherine mentioned, 15 plus awards and recognition that the Chamber and City have received over the last several years. And our goal is to just positively impact and influence thousands of businesses, organizations, and individuals each year. One case study, as we look ahead to investing in the next 100 years, we've expanded our Raccoon River Rally to be in June in partnership with the City of West Des Moines. We have a Visionary Leaders Forum that is focused on member engagement and investment. We are celebrating our 100 year as an organization, our 100 year anniversary. So we will have a community celebration on May 16th. We had our largest Mentoring for Women conference in the event's history, the 7th annual this past March. We're working on a commemorative mural project with a local artist in Valley Junction, John Bosley. And we are focused on resident and tourism attraction, 100 places to visit for our 100-year anniversary, a flavor quest to highlight our restaurants and bars in West Des Moines, a summer intern scavenger hunt for those that are visiting West Des Moines and working at our member area companies, and then the Candy Cane Trail. So the Candy Cane Trail is a case study that we'd like to showcase really briefly. This was the inaugural year doing it. It was a 6-week campaign from the middle of November through the end of December. It was really focused on supporting small businesses and generating traffic to their storefronts. As you can see here, some of the statistics, we had 40 participating businesses and organizations. The interactive map that featured all 40 locations had 2,200 plus map views, 3,800 plus total locations were opened on that map. The cool point here is that 48.5% of the user's primary location was in central Iowa, which means 51.5% was outside of central Iowa. So that really showed us that people were visiting West Des Moines to visit our local businesses and attractions. The other top 3 locations, as you can see, it's no secret that Chicago, Minneapolis, and Omaha residents are traveling to West Des Moines to visit and play. 137 participants registered for the challenge, and 89 check-ins were recorded during the campaign. So supporting small businesses is at our core. And as you saw on the previous slide, momentum is hot in West Des Moines. We have a custom hot sauce that anyone in the chamber is welcome to take on your way out. We'll leave a box at the front, but it's with a local business owner, Taufik Shah, who has his operation here in West Des Moines. So scan the QR code to learn a little bit more about our 100-year anniversary. With that, I'll pass it off to Kara Matheson.
Thank you, Tom. So I think we all know that the strength of any community and city lies within its people. But I think we also know that there aren't a whole lot of mountains we find around here, not a lot of oceans. So if we want top talent, we really have to be intentional about attracting and retaining that talent. And that is why we have built a variety of different programs that have 2 main focuses. One is on connection, both personal and professional connections, because that really deepens their roots within the community. The other side is on the development end, and it really just means that we're equipping the future leaders that are going to continue this growth and momentum for generations to come in West Des Moines. You'll see some of the programs that are listed up on the screen there. This is just a few of our programs that fall in our workforce department. And all of them are unique, but they have one thing in common. They're all record setters. First on the screen is your turn. We get to connect with hundreds of interns from all over the country every single summer and tell them about why West Des Moines is the best. West YP, that is officially the largest young professional program in the entire state. Next up, you see the West Des Moines Leadership Academy going 17 years strong, and there's a reason why people graduate from that and call it life-changing year after year. Next up on there is our DEI Workplace Excellence Awards. This is vital to our workforce, and we are really proud that we have built a platform where leaders can share success stories, they can share resources and ideas with one another. And then one more on list for today is our talent attraction campaign. This was brand new in 2023, and we created new strategic initiatives that support large employers that have just countless vacant roles. We're really proud of all of this, and it's been amazing to see the success and the growth. But the other thing that's growing is the need. But if you know anything about the West Des Moines Chamber, you know that we are here to fill needs. We are your gap fillers, we're your storytellers, and we are the uplifters of all things West Des Moines. And with your help, the West is yet to come. Thank you.
So thank you for the short, sweet presentation, very energetic. I'm excited. I can barely contain myself sitting back here. I'm just going to be real quick. You guys are absolutely killing it. We are so proud to work with you every single day. We're all rowing in the exact same direction to make this city the best city in America to live, work, play, raise a family, and as I say, one day retire. I'm getting there. It's just, we have never had a closer partnership or relationship than we do today with the Chamber. And we're all working together to do the best that we can for West Des Moines residents. And I'm just honored to be able to work alongside you guys to get things done. We got a great team up here. We got a great team out there. And thank you for all you do. So, and Renee, thank you for your service on the Chamber Board.
Yeah, I would like to say a couple of things to just echo what the mayor has said, is that the chamber is just absolutely phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. If you, I go to their board member meetings and I get tired just kind of listening to all the events and everything that they do. It's almost a full-time job just keeping up and going to the various events. And you still find time to ideate and to come up with new ideas and fresh new ideas along with everything that you've done. What you did mention that I think is worthy is the foundation. Even in light of all that's going on, you're going to be kicking off a foundation for the West Des Moines Chamber, which will be a legacy for West Des Moines to continue to elevate businesses in this community. So, Catherine, your leadership is second to none. You're leading a team of leaders that I have seen grown over these years and has just carrying the torch of everything West Des Moines. So, congratulations. You're phenomenal. You are. Oh, this chamber is the best of the best.
Yeah.
Best of the best.
And we appreciate your support. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any other comments before we move on? I would just say one more thing, May 16th, really looking forward to it, 5 o'clock, the rehabilitated Valair Ballroom, and one of the most special things about it, besides celebrating 100 years, is that we're going to be in the Roaring 20s, the 2020s, in our 20s gangster, mobster outfits. So it's going to be a great time. If you haven't prepared for this, you got to get your outfit ready to go right now. So.
And I'll do a little plug. Our nonprofit memberships start at $290, no matter how many employees you have. So neighborhood finance, corporate, yep, let's talk. We can help promote you. So.
Tell them the mayor sent you, and it'll be $350. It's the mayor discount. All right. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to Mayor Council Manager Report. We're going to start down here to my right with City Manager Tom Haddon.
Just one report. Mayor and Council's legislative update prepared by Deputy Manager Jamie Letzring is in front of you. That seems like the activities are kind of winding down. I guess you could tell us what's your guess for the end of the session.
I'm hoping April 16th. I think that we're going to get there, but I don't know. The place likes to make a fool out of me. April 16th. All right. Moving on, Councilman Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of quick things. Again, definitely thank you to Neighborhood Finance. Thank you to Steve and the Historic Valley Junction Foundation, as well as the Chamber of Commerce. It's awesome to see so many partners working together. Special thanks to the Chamber of Commerce. They had their night at the Iowa Wolves, and the Chamber folks were kind enough to offer the national anthem opportunity to sing for the group that I direct at Valley High School, Acapella Rain. So we had a bunch of Valley students singing the national anthem at the Iowa Wolves game 2 nights ago, and it was great. So a special thanks to the Chamber, because I know Tom Florian especially worked hard to see if we could have not just a West Des Moines Chamber night, but also, there he is, thank you. And grab some hot sauce on the way out, everybody, it's there for you. Really, really grateful for that. It was a great night. And finally, just Ryan Penning, Director of Parks and Rec, just sent out some information about how things are going in Parks and Rec, just like he does every month. And at the beginning of March, we always have registration for summer activities, youth programs, because our Parks and Rec program does an amazing job at all of these things. And just to hear that on one day, it looks like on this registration day in 2022, $89,000 in youth programs, 2023, $94,000 in youth programs, and then in 2024, $124,000 sold on in one day on the registration day. So just the idea that everybody's waiting for this exciting moment, because there are kids, adults all over the city who want to be involved in our programming. It's amazing, and it adds up to quite a bit, $260,000 plus on just the one day. So kudos to Ryan and his team. Definitely grateful for their diligent efforts in making, Catherine and Mr. Mayor, you always say live, work, play. You have like 20 different nouns, living and working and playing and retiring and whatnot. This is a big part of it, so thank you all.
Thank you, Councilman. Great report. Councilman McKinney.
Thank you, Mayor. Couple things. We had, Councilwoman Hardman and I had a development planning meeting this morning, and focused on some upcoming developments in the city. And one of them is a continued work around the Cunningham, where, of course, Ruth's Chris opened maybe 8-10 months ago. And then they're looking at opening Homegrown, which is a restaurant, cafe, breakfast spot. And part of the challenge there is parking. So we're working through some parking issues, and because they are also looking at opening a new restaurant called the Tzatziki Cafe, which is, I'm told, a Mediterranean restaurant that is not yet in Iowa. This would be the first in the state, but we worked through some parking things. I think we got to a good point, but I think something's going to have to come before the council through a PUD or some sort of amendment to allow for it. But good to see continued interest in bringing new facilities to West Des Moines. We also had a Bravo board meeting here in the last couple weeks. Bravo's really focusing on, obviously handing out grants to different organizations because of the hotel motel tax, but we're also for the first time fundraising for a Passport to Culture program, helping students better access arts and culture in our community. And so this is the first of its kind for Bravo. I'm excited to be a part of it. And that's going to be launching here. Well, we've launched it quietly, and it'll continue to roll out over the next year. And lastly, I'd say it's too bad Catherine and the team left. I appreciated the real estate development forum that the West Des Moines Chamber put on roughly 2 weeks ago. It was a well-attended event. Tried to get some tickets for a couple of colleagues beforehand and couldn't get in. It was sold out. But I wrote down one of the comments, and I'll just say it here. One of the folks that was on the panel, and our own Ryan Moffett was on the panel amongst some others, but one of the comments on the panel was, our world is not based upon notions, it's based upon an economic reality. And this gentleman went on to say West Des Moines is the top market in the state right now. So proud of what we're doing here. Obviously, it's a team effort. So many in the community, the chamber, staff, everybody that makes this happen, but it's great to hear those things. And that covers my report.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Councilman. I'm going to pass. I really don't have a lot to say, but we did have the recent passing of a great community leader in our metro, and Terry Caldwell Johnson. And I'm going to pass it to Councilwoman Renee Hardman, and then after her remarks regarding Terry, I'd like to just take a moment of silence.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. I first want to just indicate one other thing before I get into what I wanted to say about my dear friend Terry Caldwell Johnson, is that I had the privilege of attending an event on Saturday to honor the legacy of Cesar Chavez, who was a migrant who fought for the right of migrant agricultural workers. This was a partnership that was put together by the Des Moines Human Rights Commission. As we know, Audrey Kinnis is a liaison as a staff person to that, and Des Moines University and their health club. And it was held in at the Taste of the Junction in Valley Junction, and it was a phenomenal event. And those that were there learned about the legacy of this man who fought for equal wages or just minimal wages that folks could get, and health care and all of that for the farmers that were working in the fields night and day. And so it was just wonderful. It was educational, food was great, and I really want to commend the West Des Moines Human Rights Commission for really looking up this partnership and saying, let's work together. You know, we can't do everything by ourselves. Let's work together with partners. And it was a more perfect union than Des Moines University. And they had students there in their white coats, talking about this great man, and it was phenomenal. So I want to give and lift up Audrey Kinnis and the Human Rights Commission for all of that. And then lastly, I do want to take a moment to talk about a day that the community is mourning the loss of an absolute giant. And I'll try to say this without getting too emotional because I've known this woman for close to 30-something years. And she is a trailblazer. She is a history maker. She is a mother. She is a wife. She is a community leader. She is a public servant. She was a CEO. She was everything to this community. And how ironic that we're talking about affordable, fair housing, and we're taking up a proclamation of which she would be most proud to have supported, because that's what she did. She worked at Oak Ridge for over 20-something years, and she was the longest-serving Des Moines Public School board member, okay, and Capital Crossroads. So she was a woman that had showed up, and when she walked in a room, you knew that you were going to have some hard questions, but you also knew you were going to have some real solutions, and you're going to have some real talk. And so I just said that her legacy will live on, and hopefully her legacy is one that encourages us to do whatever we can, small or large, to make a difference to those that need a voice, those that are marginalized, those that need a lift up, not a hand out. And she was one that walked amongst the folks. She didn't just do it behind an office. She was there. She was present. She was in their homes, their apartments, working with their children. She was an example that is almost irreplaceable, So I just want to say to Terry's family that this community is mourning alongside of you. And I promise, as I sit in this seat, I'm going to do everything that I can to uplift and be a voice and show up when it's most difficult and when others would prefer not to, because that's what living her legacy will all be about. So I would like to, Mayor, have us take on a moment of silence for such a noble, noble community leader that fought to the last end. So.
Thank you. Please bow your heads in a moment of silence for Terry Caldwell Johnson. Thank you. Terry was a great leader. She had a big personality and an even bigger heart, and she will be greatly missed by all of us in the Metro. So Godspeed, Terry. Okay, moving on to Councilman Trevilian.
Nothing this time, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Lotz?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Councilman. Moving on to item 4, consent agenda. We are going to like to pull item 4H. We are also going to pull items 4T1 through 3. Are there any other items that any council person would like to have pulled and voted on separately? Okay, hearing none, can
For
I?
the remainder?
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 4H is a motion for approval of agreement with Trees Forever for planting trees on city property. This comes in the way of a federal grant that Paul Taki, our urban forester, was successful in finding, applying for, and receiving from the federal government. He did a phenomenal job, and I want to just thank him. And I want to thank Congressman Zach Nunn as well, who we contacted and who wrote a letter on our behalf to help us secure this grant. This is going to allow us to plant over 800 trees on city property and is going to make a significant difference in the city of West Des Moines. So I just wanted to pull this and give thanks to Paul and Congressman Zach Nunn as well. If somebody wants to make a motion.
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion?
Russ, I just want a point of clarification. When you say city property, this is not just like the yard here at City Hall. This is the city right-of-way along streets.
Right.
So just so everybody understands that. So when you see locate flags or whatever it might be out in the right-of-way, that's probably what's taking place here.
Thank you, Councilman. Appreciate the clarification. Okay, any other comments, questions before we vote? Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 4T1, Fair Housing Month. It's a proclamation for Fair Housing Month is for April. And if somebody wants to move approval after we get a motion and a second, then I will read the proclamation and we will ask members here from the Polk County Housing Trust Fund, just housing advocates. We've got Angie Arthur here and Matt Hauge, I believe, at very least. And where? Oh, Toby is here as well. So we'll have them come down and take a picture with us afterwards.
Motion for approval.
Second.
It's been
Second.
moved. It's been moved and seconded, and I will read. Whereas April 2024 marks the 56th anniversary of the Federal Fair Housing Act, a landmark piece of civil rights legislation passed in 1968. This law made many types of housing discrimination illegal and is accompanied by numerous civil rights protections in our community, including the Iowa Civil Rights Act. And whereas the Fair Housing Act of 1968 prohibits discrimination in the sale, rental, and financing of housing on the basis of, as amended, race, color, religion, national origin, sex, disability, and familial status. And whereas the Iowa Civil Rights Act additionally prohibits housing discrimination on the basis of those areas and additionally creed, sexual orientation, and gender identity. And whereas it is the mission of the West Des Moines Human Rights Commission to influence and advocate for community and government systems to ensure an inclusive, equitable, and thriving community. And whereas fair housing practices play a positive role in ensuring the well-being, economic growth, and human relations of all people in our community. And whereas all members of our community are encouraged to raise awareness of fair housing regulations to prevent discriminatory practices and ensure our community is welcoming and inclusive. Now, therefore, I, Russ Trimble, Mayor of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, do hereby proclaim April 2024 as Fair Housing Month. And I call upon the residents of West Des Moines to promote an inclusive community committed to fair housing and support private and public entities who advocate for equal housing opportunities for all current and prospective residents of West Des Moines. Signed this first day of April 2024. And with that, if you guys want to join us down here for a picture, that would be great.
Did we vote?
We'll vote first. All right, please vote. You can come on up. You can come on.
Yeah, come on.
I think it's going to pass.
Renee,
So much harder now.
Renee, we need your vote.
Okay, now my fingernail always get in the way.
5 yes.
Who wants to, Angie, Matt? No one wants to hold that. Act like you like the chair. I brush my teeth and put my All right, hold on, we gotta rearrange.
This isn't science, you know?
Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more.
Thank you. You know, the social media matters so much.
All right, good.
Always good to see you. Hope you're well. Oh, you bet.
All righty, day. Okay, moving on to our next proclamation. We've got item 4T2, National Library Week. And we've got some of our library board members here. Craig Long, I know, is sitting here. I don't know if Gene Fajan was able to make it or any other library board members, but we're going to do the proclamation, and afterwards we'll have you come up and accept the proclamation, take a picture.
Motion for approval?
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, so been moved and seconded, and I will read. This is a proclamation honoring April 7th through the 13th as National Library Week, whereas public libraries provide the opportunity for everyone to pursue their interests and passions and engage in lifelong learning, allowing them to thrive and excel. Whereas public libraries have long served as trusted institutions for all members of the community, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, income, social class, or socioeconomic status. Whereas public libraries strive to develop and maintain programs and collections that are as diverse as the people they serve and ensure service and access for all. Whereas public libraries adapt to the ever-changing needs of their communities, continually assessing and evolving their collections, services, and partnerships. Whereas libraries play a critical role in the economic vitality of the communities by providing internet and technology access, literacy skills, and support for job seekers, small businesses, and entrepreneurs. Whereas libraries are accessible and inclusive places that promote a sense of local connection, advancing understanding, civic engagement, shared community goals, and common ground. Whereas libraries are cornerstones of democracy, providing a neutral venue for the free exchange of information and the respectful exploration of differing viewpoints and ideas for all. Whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers are joining library supporters and advocates across the nation to celebrate National Library Week. Now, therefore, I, Russ Trimble, Mayor of the City of West Des Moines, do hereby proclaim National Library Week, April 7th through the 13th, 2024. During this week, I encourage all residents to visit their library to explore the wealth of resources available. Signed this first day of April 2024. And with that,
Why don't we approve the next one, then we'll all go down and.
okay, that's a great suggestion. Can we go on to the next one and read that
we'll go
one
down,
and
and then
approve both of them? Or do we have to
vote on
vote on
this
each
one.
individually?
Since it was pulled and it needs to be voted on its own.
Okay,
So we
so it's a
can,
good suggestion, but,
No, I'm talking about picture. Can we
okay.
just go down
All right,
once?
we're going to vote on this, and then we will come down for a picture after we do the next proclamation. Okay, are there any comments, questions? Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, that is approved, and we are going to move on to the last proclamation, Proclamation 4T3 for National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, April 14th through the 20th, 2024.
Motion for approval?
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded, and I will read. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, and emergency medical services for the cities of Clive, Norwalk, Urbandale, Waukee, West Des Moines, and Windsor Heights. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from residents who telephone the Westcom Emergency Communications Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first critical contact our residents have in the time of need to start the emergency support services cycle. Whereas public safety telecommunicators are the vital link for our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of Westcom have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each public safety telecommunicator has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their profession. Now, therefore, I, Russ Trimble, Mayor of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, do hereby proclaim the week of April 14th through April 20th, 2024, to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, in honor of the public safety professionals whose diligence and expertise keep our city and residents safe. Signed this first day of April, 2024. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, let's first start with a picture with the library, and then we're going to have representatives from Westcom come down and take a picture with us after that. Craig Long, board member of the Stars. Craig here. A small group, but a mighty group. Thank you for being here, Craig, and thanks for all that you do, serving on our library board of trustees. Take this picture. Hold it with some.
Yeah, we'll balance it out.
All right. Thank you so much, my friend. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much. Now go root on the Iowa Hawkeyes, if you will. Okay. Anybody here from Westcom, public safety officials? Come on up. Anybody but Rob? Come on up. All right. You guys get me. You guys get me. Set up. Sure. Grab it. I'm going to go back to loud. Hold the population. You might get off this way. This way. Come on, Steve. You got to get closer. You got to get closer. See.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Stand by. Carry on.
He's going to go watch the game. He is going to watch the game. All right. All right. Moving on. As soon as Councilwoman Hardman gets back here. All right. Oh, I'm going to have to close out. Technical difficulties tonight, I'll tell you. Okay, moving on to item 5, old business. Item 5A, ordinance amendment, amend Title IX zoning to modify regulations pertaining to uses permitted in the open space zoning district and amusement and recreation service uses in non-residential zoning districts, city initiated. This item was continued from the September 25th meeting, from the November 20th meeting, from the December 4th meeting, the January 16th meeting, the February 5th meeting, and the March 5th meeting, and we've had several great conversations during that time. We have got an ordinance amendment for approval, the second reading. There are no outstanding issues, and this was approved unanimously by P&Z and the council, with Councilman Trevelyan absent at the first reading. There have been slight changes from the first reading due to several conversations with a couple different landowners to make sure that we struck the best balance that we possibly could between private property rights and impact to surrounding property owners and the environment. And with that, I would ask for a motion to
Motion to consider the second reading.
Okay.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
You know, Your Honor, I'll just say, this is the kind of thing that makes me proud to serve up here and serve with the staff. And, you know, we had some constituents come to us with concerns on this a number of times. And man, did we really put this through. I guess everybody worked on it a lot. And I feel really good about it. I think the constituents feel good about it. Hopefully staff feels good about it because we made them do most of the work. But, you know, I feel like we're in a good place on this side now, so.
Absolutely. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate your participation in some of those meetings, and Councilman Trevilian as well. And I know, like you said, a number of us have worked on this for quite some time. And staff, man, really can't thank staff enough, and the Stulls and the McKinney family as well for their input. And this was just a lot of work went into this. So, Councilman McKinney.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I'd echo Councilman Lode's comments. As you read it there, September 25th, November 20th, December 4th, you know, reflecting back to September 25th, we've come a long ways. And there's been a lot of, I think, much better understanding, certainly by myself, but I think hopefully by the entire council as to what is being proposed here. And I know it took a heck of a lot of effort by a lot of different folks to put together spreadsheets or a matrix to really identify what can be done today, what is proposing to be changed, what would be, you know, permitted conditional use or permitted outright or in another zoning ordinance. I don't think any of that was, at least I didn't appreciate that back in September. And I thank staff for helping me better understand it over the last, we spent an hour or so together last week on this. But also listening to a lot of folks. I see Tom here, and thank you to the Stulls for you know, reaching out, for raising this up. I still have you know, some things in my mind about trying to notify all the landowners, but I recognize that there are issues by doing that. And I think this was a reasonable, good faith effort to find the right balance. I feel that we found a balance, and just a thank you to everybody who was involved.
Russ, I just want to interject that, yes, I was unable to be at the meeting when the first reading was held on this. And I really appreciate the rest of the council, I guess, listening when I said, wait a minute, this just isn't right.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate the council. I appreciate staff for listening to the concerns of the council members, but especially of our residents who are going to be impacted by the changes that were proposed with this. So sitting down that we did, Doug and I did last week with the Stulls and the McKinney family, that's what really signifies to me what being on the city council is all about, is to being able to have those meetings with everybody around the table, getting the issues resolved, and then coming up with something that everyone can live with. So thank you to everyone involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, thank you for all the participation. And I also just want to highlight the Stulls and the McKinneys too. I mean, like I said, we tried to strike that balance between private property rights, impact to the neighbors, and, you know, impact to the environment. But it changes, it does change the use of some of your land, and that is not easy as a property owner. And you guys really tried to look at it from all angles and tried to sympathize and empathize with others outside of yourself. And you know, Wayne and Jim did the same thing. And just can't say enough about that and how much we appreciate you guys for that. So thank you. Any other comments, questions, concerns before we move on? Councilman Hudson.
Sure. I just want to echo those comments. It seems as though in 2024, from what I look at around the world, we expect people to be reasonable and folks to come together. That is not an expectation we can apparently have on this globe anymore, but I'm really proud that we were able to do all those things that we just talked about. So thank you to everybody.
Totally agree. Okay, without further ado, please vote.
Greg. 5 yes, an ordinance to amend the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024, Title IX zoning pertaining to uses permitted in the agricultural open space zoning district and amusement and recreation service uses allowed in non-residential zoning districts.
Motion for approval of the second reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 6, public hearings, item 6A. This is the time and place for a public hearing to consider Eagle Brook south of Veterans Parkway and east of Southeast 35th Street. Amend the zoning map to establish R1 single-family residential zoning initiated by Eagle Brook LLC. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice was published?
March 18th, 2024, in the Des Moines Register.
And have received any written comment to this hearing?
The Planning and Zoning Commission, by a vote of 7 yes, adopted a resolution recommending approval of the rezoning request.
Okay, anybody in the audience or online that would like to address the council on item 6A, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. If you are online, please hit *6 to unmute yourself. Is there anybody in the council chambers or online that would like to address the council on item 6A? Okay, hearing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. We've got an ordinance for approval of the first reading in order to consistency zone the property, and there are no outstanding issues.
Motion considered the first reading.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance amending the official zoning map of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024 by amending Title IX zoning, Chapter 4 zoning districts and maps.
Motion to approve the first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 6B, this is the time and the place for a public hearing to consider amendment to City Code Title IX zoning, Chapter 6, Commercial, Office, and Industrial Zoning District, modified land use permitted in the Business Park, General Industrial, and Light Industrial Zoning Districts, initiated by Spray Tech Fertilizers LLC. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
March 11th, 2024, in the Des Moines Register.
And have you received any written comment to this hearing?
Planning and Zoning Commission, by a vote of 7 yes, adopted a resolution recommending approval of the ordinance amendment.
Okay, anybody like to address the council on item 6B, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself and do the same. Is there anybody either in the chamber or online that would like to address the council on item 6B? Okay, hearing and seeing no one, I will declare the public hearing closed. And again, we've got an ordinance amendment for approval of the first reading, and there are no outstanding issues.
Motion considered the first reading.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Mayor, I'd just say this came before development plan, I think, as you mentioned, and one of the things that we had inquired about was whether or not this particular use would result in any contaminants being released into the air or odors or anything like that, and I appreciate staff checking on that, and we confirmed that that would not occur. So we, wanted to make sure that we checked into that before we move forward.
Awesome. Appreciate your and Councilwoman Hardman's due diligence on this and looking out for the safety of the residents. And that's why we have this awesome subcommittee process, to get into those issues and ask any of the questions that we might have and before we bring it to the council for consideration. So thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance amending City Code of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024, Title IX zoning pertaining to fertilizer mixing.
Motion to approve the first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 6C. This is the time and the place for a public hearing to consider sale of city-owned property locally known as 1205 and 1207 Locust Street, initiated by the City of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
March 22nd, 2024, in the Des Moines Register.
And have you received any written comment to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody in the audience who would like to address the council on item 6C, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself and do the same thing. Welcome back. Good to see you again.
Good to see everyone. My name is Ryan Doyle with Greater Des Moines Habitat for Humanity. And I just want to take a quick sec to thank everyone on council, Mr. Mayor, for your consideration of this, and to thank everyone, the city staff has been working super hard on getting this over the finish line, hopefully, on this and other items, helping us create affordable housing opportunities in the community.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it, Ryan.
Thank you.
And I know that we're going to be doing these projects. I think the chamber is going to be involved. I think the council may be asked to pitch in, and will be a fun event. They had originally asked about demolition, but we couldn't figure out how to make it work. That would have been a lot of fun for the council. Okay, any other comments from anybody in the audience here, the chamber, or online? Okay, hearing no one, seeing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. We've got a resolution to accept proposal into the award and approve the sale of the property at 1205 and 1207 Locust Street to Greater Des Moines Habitat for Humanity. There are no outstanding issues, and this was approved unanimously by the Finance and Administration City Council Subcommittee.
Motion approved.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 6D, this is the time and place for a public hearing to consider the 2023 parking lot repair program initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice was published?
March 15th, 2024 in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comment to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody from the audience who would like to address the council on item 6D, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself and do the same. Okay, I thought maybe Vicky was coming up for this one, but she faked me out. Okay, with nobody wishing to address the council on item 6D, I'm going to declare the public hearing closed, and we've got 2 resolutions and a motion which we can take at the same time, and there are no outstanding issues.
Motion to approve.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing no one, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 6E. This is the time and the place for a public hearing to consider Valley Junction Alley Improvements Phase 8 initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice was published?
March 15th, 2024 in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comment for this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody in the audience who'd like to address the council on item 6E, please come to the podium, give us your name, address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself and do the same. And this time, we will start off with Dr. Vicki Long Hill.
Yes, thank you. It's an honor to be before you. Dr. Vicki Long Hill, 136 10th Street, West Des Moines Valley Junction. I'm before the body once again to speak on the alley improvements. And in particular, I want to thank you for the improvements that have been made. I mean, it's wonderful. I'm out in the alleys cleaning off our alley every morning. I'm so proud of that. And I know my parents would be as well. It was at least 10 years getting at this point. However, we have one alley. As we're continuing on with the other alleys in Valley Junction, there's one alley that has not been paved. And that's the alley on 10th Street. It would be to the east of the properties in the 100 block between Railroad and Maple. And I did have an opportunity, I believe it was this fall when I spoke about it, and the city staff did respond. However, it still doesn't take care of the issue, doesn't take care of the problem. That alley apparently have not been prepared or gone through the different phases of the leveling of the ground. I think there's some infrastructure work as well to prepare it to be ready for paving. However, again, it's been over 10 years. And we do have residents that are highly concerned and complaining and wondering why are all the other alleys in the neighborhood are paved and not that one. In addition, you have businesses right at the end of the alley, 10th and Railroad. So you have, I think it's the Colorado Feed, as well as now makeshift truck business come there every now and then. But they travel up and down that alley and use it. And so here we are, paved alleys, but now we're getting dust, rock, debris, anything else that comes with it. So again, the question is, how is it going to be resolved, and when would that alley get done? And best my recollection in talking with the staff, it's not included in the completion of the Valley Junction alley
Okay.
paving. One alley, and businesses use it
Yep.
as well.
Yep.
It should be taken care
We
of.
will get together with staff, and we will get a report on that, and we will get with you and let you know what the status is of that alley.
I appreciate that. I did hear from the staff, but I don't know how long it's going to be. It's going to be another 10 years, another 5 years for one alley, when all of the rest of the alleys in the area that we've been working on for over 10 years have been paved.
Yep.
So
Well, like I
I'd
said, we'll
like to
talk
see
to-
a resolution so that it's paved.
Yep.
One that is paved.
Brian, you've got the answer to
Address
this,
a
don't you?
little bit of this.
Well, I figured if Brian had the answer offhand, he would have been making his way up here. That's why I said we would get together and get a
he's-
status
Well, he
update
may-
on
he
it.
may
This has
not-
been
he
talked
might
about.
know.
Come on down, Brian.
Well, we need to ask him.
Hello, Brian Hemesat, city engineer. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I just know that we've worked with this on the Public Services Council Committee. We have a prioritization of which alleys we work on. Number one is with businesses adjacent to it. That's the first priority. Second priority is whether or not those stormwater improvements have been completed in those alleys. And as Dr. Vicky spoke, that infrastructure was not completed on that one. That is why it is moved to the end of the line.
And I
So,
believe, if I can interject.
Sure.
The reason it wasn't, the improvements weren't done is because the property owners didn't agree to it, as did everybody else.
at that
time.
At that time.
At that time.
Sure.
And so then you start working your way through.
Right.
And it was talked about at the subcommittee level early on that as time goes on, if somebody decides, oh, well, yeah, I want it done, that it would go basically to the end of the line, because if you've got other alleys, and we've got alleys scheduled out that they've said, yes, we want these improvements. And we felt that that was the most fair way to do it, was that if they've been waiting and had the approval already with the city, then that's how we were going to proceed.
Maybe what we could do is take a look when you go back to your desk at, what the status of this is, and maybe try to figure out a timeline as to when we might expect that alley to get paved. I mean, are we talking a year, 2 years, 5? I certainly don't think 10. And I know, Vicki, you take great pride in your alley and are out there making it immaculate, right? But you waited a long time. So we'll take a look at it. We'll figure out where it is in the process, and we'll get back with you.
And if I may, please have just one more statement.
Sure. Thank you, Brian.
Before Brian leaves, I have.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
We'll let-
Hold on, Brian, because after Vicki, Councilman McKinney's got a
thank you.
question for you. All right.
Councilman Trevilian, I appreciate your comments being made, and as you know, it's been a very long time, a long process. At one time, the residents probably didn't approve of it, but in that area in particular, there's been a lot of transitions. Anything from rental homes to new homes. We've had several on that side of the street, the east side of 10th Street. We've even had several move, and since the time you're speaking of, at least if there's 6, 7 houses, there are at least 3 or 4 of the residents have passed on. So we do have new residents, and they have expressed the interest, and they notice the improvement that has been made all around. We had the meeting where, like public hall, town hall meeting, where people came and we was told about it. A lot of the people on that side of the street showed up, but they weren't included. They just thought they were. So I'm just saying, thank you. Thank you, and I'd like to get a resolution to this, and we have businesses.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
We will get back with you after we take a look, okay, Vicki? All right, Councilman McKinney.
Yeah, no, thank you. And Dr. Vicky Hill, thank you for bringing this up. This has come before Public Services a couple different times the last couple years. It feels like at least once a year. Brian, I was actually pleasantly surprised to see the bid come in, significantly lower than what the estimate was. And given that there's over $120,000 difference between where it came in and where it was anticipated, my question is, does it free up funding to maybe do additional alleys during this budget cycle, given that we had allocated this?
So that's a good question. Now, I'll have to go back to my desk tomorrow and look.
Fair.
I know that there is some other, there's some other work that we are working on in the Valley Junction area that maybe might have went a little bit over that we're going to try to offset that with. So I believe that's the case, but let me double check on it.
No, fair enough.
I think you're right. Vicki, we understand how important this is, but we've prioritized it, and as Councilman Trevelyan said, some homeowners weren't on board, and so maybe it moved down the line, but we will take a look. We'll let you know where it is and how long you may expect for this to take, and we'll have staff get back to you on that. So, okay, somewhat went out of order. Anybody else that would like to address the council on this item, item 6E, and either in the chamber or online? Star 6 to unmute yourself if you're online. Okay. Hearing and seeing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. And we've once again got two resolutions and a motion which can be taken at the same time. There are no outstanding issues, and this was also approved unanimously by the Public Services City Council Subcommittee. Is there any further discussion? Okay. Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve? Okay. Wow, we're really going out of order tonight. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, please vote. Got all discombobulated.
5 yes.
Okay, moving on, item 6F. This is the time and place for a public hearing to consider a 2023 pavement markings and on-street bike markings program initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, could you please read the date the notice was published?
March 15th, 2024 in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comment to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody in the audience that would like to address the council on item 6F, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, please hit star 6 to unmute yourself. Is there anybody in the chamber or online that would like to address the council on item 6F? God bless you. Okay. Hearing and seeing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. We've got two resolutions and a motion which can be taken at the same time. There are no outstanding issues, and this was also approved unanimously by the Public Services City Council Subcommittee.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 7, new business. Item 7A, South Branch Business Park Plat 2, southwest corner of Southeast 42nd Street and Southeast Army Post Road, accept surety and release final plat to create 3 lots for industrial development, SBBP JV21 LLC. We have got a resolution to accept surety and approve and release final plat. There are no outstanding issues. With this resolution, not only will we be accepting surety in lieu and public improvement, but we'll also be accepting a 60/40 trail agreement where the property owner will be installing the 10-foot trail, and the city will be reimbursing the property owner for 60% of the cost of the trail. It's as if the property owner is paying for 4 feet like it's a sidewalk. With that, can I get a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Is there anybody in the audience or online that would like to address the council on item 7A? Okay, hearing and seeing no one. Any discussion on the dais? Okay, seeing none, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 7B, FY 24-25 hotel motel tax allocations. We got a motion to approve the Finance Administration City Council Subcommittee recommendations for these allocations, and there are no outstanding issues. Does somebody want to move approval?
Move approval.
Okay, is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Is there anybody in the audience or online that would like to address the council on item 7B? Please hit star 6 to unmute yourself if you're online. Okay, any discussion? Councilwoman Hardman.
Okay, so we had we're going to give out a total of, for this year, 803?
Yep, but the awards that we're talking about, I think in specific tonight, are the, well, I guess maybe it's all of it, but It's $397,000.
Okay, 399.
Yep.
Yep.
399.
Okay, and I'm just wondering, Ballet Des Moines went down by 10,000. I'm just,
Yep. Why don't we go to the Chair of Finance Administration, and Councilman Lotz, you can chime in
Okay.
as well. First, I want to say thank you to you and Councilman Lotz and to staff. I mean, we have an application period. A number of people file applications to receive hotel motel allocations and make a number of requests. They're all brought in. You guys hear the presentations, you ask questions, and then you work to do the best you can to make the allocations as fairly as possible. Do you want to talk a little bit about?
and I just want to say, I'm not questioning anything that they did other than trying to get an understanding on a couple. So I'm.
And let me say, I'm not questioning that you're questioning them. I'm just trying to describe kind of the process that you go about in this whole thing. And then if Councilman Hudson can maybe talk through kind of what your thought process and Councilman Lode's thought process.
We're happy to.
Yep.
Councilwoman, thank you so much. We're, of
welcome.
course, happy
That's what
to.
we're here for.
I was
Ask
planning
questions.
on chatting about this a little bit anyway. So when we talk about this specific hotel motel tax money that's available, it should be said that we're very, very fortunate to have it. When we have a metropolitan area of 600,000 people, in our city is about 70,000. So we're talking about, 11, 12% of the population, and yet we get almost 25% of the hotel traffic. The fact that we have these funds available to really, give a lot of organizations opportunities to apply for it, to bring value to our city in a lot of different ways. We're very fortunate. So, but also it is a tough process. I want to thank the finance department because when it's all said and done, Tim and Chris back there, they're working to try to find what is the appropriate starting number that we're looking at. And as you all said earlier, the recommendation was 300 from the subcommittee was $397,318 in grants to the applicants. However, I think that went above their budget recommendation just a little bit, and that speaks to how tough it is. What's especially tough is when we get double the amount of requests. So when the applicants come in with 750,000 or so, and all we have in the budget line is 375,000. That kind of marks everybody down 50% from the very, very beginning. Now, that's not the exact process, the way that we do it per se. However, understanding that if only 50% of the money is available, based on the 753.75 thing that I just mentioned, that produces a lot of difficulties. And of course, we have to make some difficult decisions when it comes to reductions. Now, Councilwoman, when we talk about all of these applicants who, again, bring great value to our city in a lot of different ways, certainly we place great value on the hotel motel tax kind of perpetuating, as in you bring in more traffic. And I'll just give you an example. Let's see, where was it? National Speech and Debate Association will receive $30,000. We thought that was, of course, a very reasonable request because they are bringing, I can't even imagine, talking to Catch Des Moines, the amount of high school students who are going to be in the metropolitan area. And also National Speech and Debate is located in West Des Moines. The association itself is headquartered here. So the amount of hotel traffic they're going to bring is going to be unbelievable. Number 16, West Des Moines Community School Robotics will receive $8,998. However, I teach at Valley. I love robotics. I love the team. I have many of my students in that specific robotics team. However, they did not get all they requested because some of the items in their itemized list would not have really been as that would have been a greater partnership for the schools to help out, whether it be like security, whether it be parking things. And it's a whole list because they itemized what their application was. So it just depends on what the application was. It just depends on which of these 16 groups, depends on a number of different factors, and no group is the same. We have, for example, a group in Urbandale. We have the Living History Farms. This is the first time that they ever came before us, and they requested, quite a bit more than $15,000. However, they also shared that we could do $3,000 for the next 5 years. So Councilman Lotz and I, we chatted, and we figured that would be an appropriate way to kind kind of allocate that because they said it could be allocated over the next 5 years. And that way, instead of 15,000 one year, that allows us to make a minimum budgetary kind of a budgetary ding, so to speak, rather than 1 year over the course of 5 years. So when it comes to what you asked about, though, Councilwoman, which was Ballet Des Moines, this year we took a look at groups that are also in West Des Moines, certainly, but also groups that also have access to Bravo funding. And that was something that Councilman Lotz and I talked about because if you have access to Bravo funding, that's a situation where maybe it would be more appropriate to receive the Bravo funding than, say, funding exclusively from hotel motel rather than both at a higher level. So yes, you're right, that reward was reduced, but seeing the Bravo level that they got, which was, Councilman Lotz, I can't remember what it was. It was
100 and something.
It was over $100,000 for that. So we felt, given our budgetary constraints, we felt that to be appropriate. So, sorry, I talked a lot, but yes, a history teacher, so here we go. Continue, please.
History teacher,
Okay.
political science?
It's a history.
I don't know. All right, Councilwoman.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is that it?
Okay, no, I have
Okay, go ahead.
other questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, thank you for the work that you both do. I know that it's difficult when you have finite set of resources, but as anything we have in this council, is subject to questioning in terms of what some of the thoughts went into the process.
Of course, absolutely.
Okay, and that's what I'm going to do.
Please.
Okay. In terms of the West Des Moines magazine, went from 157 to 190. That's our publication. Are we doing an extra edition of that? Should we be looking at some more stuff online? I'm just trying to get a sense of what are we doing different that made that jump up so significantly amount in terms of our magazine. I love the magazine. I'm just, again, trying to figure out why it would go from 157 to 190.
What are you looking at, Councilwoman? I don't.
City newsletter, West Des Moines magazine, 157.
People in the city of Des
190.
Moines saw the mayor's column and they wanted to get the subscription to it as well. No, I'm just kidding.
So this,
Tim, why don't you come on up? Do you have?
yeah.
Absolutely. No, the increase in costs for the West Des Moines magazine, that was not a specific discussion that we had at the finance
That wasn't,
committee.
and that wasn't part of the allocation of these funds. It was only the 375. That was a different thing,
Yeah,
so.
397. Yep. Okay, Tim.
Well, still city funds.
Absolutely.
Councilwoman Hardman, Tim Stiles, Finance Director. The increase in funding for the newsletter is a product of more residents
Okay.
and higher postage rates. There was a postage increase,
Okay.
and then our production company increased the cost. There's still going to be the same amount of issues. It's just more of them and higher postage on them and higher cost of production.
It is that
Okay.
mayor's column.
And Renee, to answer your other question, one of the reasons we have this whole same discussion every year about going online versus having, because it's expensive.
Okay, yeah.
But we have such a high rating of people, it's a very high rating that like it and want it in their hands. We continue to do, was it 3 a year? 3. So that's, yeah, we discuss it every year because you're thinking, oh, we could just put it online, but people really
Like
like
the
it.
paper.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's a good explanation. Again, I want to go through and ask for a couple of other things. The Children's Museum, and I like the Children's Museum, and that doubled. Is it because, and others went down from 9,000 to 18,000? Is there a significant request why theirs doubled?
Yeah, the discussion we had about the Children's Museum specifically, they gave us some numbers this year that really described their hotel and motel impact. And when they described that, and they had some numbers of where they were from when it comes to zip codes and where they are from around the area, I think they're a real difference maker. The other thing that we thought about when it came to the Children's Museum, that is an economic driver in Valley West Mall. Valley West Mall is having such a, well, we'll just say a tough time these days and whatnot, but the fact that they are bringing folks into this space that is having, again, more troubles was a big difference maker because gosh, Councilman, do you remember the numbers that they shared with us? It was off the
20,000.
charts.
It was way more than I ever imagined.
Absolutely. I could not believe that they were bringing that many people in the tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And their request had gone up this year, and so that would be the reason for that. So a couple of those things.
Okay, good,
I
thank
think,
you.
let me add one little point on like that one in particular. we ask the applicants every year to really, this is hotel motel tax, and the purpose of it when the legislature passed it was to make sure that the people who get the funding from it are actually bringing people to stay in hotels and motels within our town, and that is documentable, and that's what those funds are used for. There's been some push from the state level recently to, I don't know if I'd call it audit it, but make sure that we're living within the spirit of that legislation. And so one of the things that Councilman Hudson and I have been asking the applicants to do is document for us in real terms and in verifiable data how many people that come and stay and visit from outside of our area. In other words, they stay in the hotel motel. And so that's what we've been asking to do. And so the Des Moines Children's Museum, they came down, as tens of thousands of people come there every year. I think it's 20,000 sticks in my head that are outside the metro area. And so we felt like that was a pretty strong case. And I think the second thing, and this might be my own personal opinion, but the other part of the hotel motel tax is to use the funding into things like capital improvements so that you build a cycle of tourism constantly coming back. And so they're going to use their funds for capital improvements. They're not spending it on operating expenses or salaries or anything. They're improving what they're doing, which hopefully will attract more people.
All right, thank you, I appreciate that. And then, and I love softball, so I'm just asking from 45 to 70,000. Is there something else going on? There going to be more games, more whatever? I'm just, again, trying to understand such a large increase. And then while you're answering that, maybe you can ask about Can Play, which is an organization. Did they not submit an application?
They did not.
It's an organization that works with disabilities and all of that kind of stuff.
And Can Play does amazing work. They didn't submit an application this year.
Okay, well, then if you don't submit, you can't play. So you want to explain a little bit about softball?
Of course. And perhaps Ryan Penning can correct me if I'm wrong on any of these things. The girls softball had requested actually $100,000. So they're only getting 70% of what they funded. The big thing that they're doing is safety improvements down at Holiday Park, especially when it comes to netting.
Okay.
And so the reason why we felt that was appropriate is because another reason, and so Doug, you'd mentioned things that really stand out in applications. When it comes to the way Holiday Park and the folks down at West Des Moines girls softball, I mean, they are doing just things that the city Parks and Rec program does not have to do. I mean, the organization that they do is phenomenal. People rant and rave, not rant, excuse me, people rave, exclusively rave about the fields down there. Just rave about how great the fields are. And so they're doing so much work of the city. Ryan, did I get that right? And Ryan's going to come up because he is going to add so many gems that.
Well, and
he's not.
He might rant. I don't know, but here's the thing I'd also say is that this money, and we've tried to tell applicants this too. It's not supposed to be a thing for operations necessarily. It's supposed to be more one-time money. There are some organizations that apply that do some things for the city, like, the soccer, the softball. And I would also say, as far as the softball goes, these are volunteers that have been maintaining these fields, keeping these programs running. We had the same thing with the Little League program, except for that it got to the point where the fields were getting run down, and we ended up putting millions and millions of dollars into those fields. The softball program, I think, has looked at that and said, hey, well, what about us? We've been keeping it up, and we're kind of not getting the same thing. And they've got a lot of different improvements and whatnot. So it's good to see this. But this shouldn't be, for some organizations especially, that are not providing a city-like function, operational thing. It should be more, infrastructure improvements, purchase of equipment, and it isn't that. And there certainly are some uses of hotel motel that are appropriate, that like Central Iowa Shelters and Services, that are not putting heads in beds, but are, in my opinion, very worthwhile, and I'm sure in yours as well, Councilwoman. But Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan Penning, Parks and Recreation Director. I would add that some of these projects that girls softball has done in the past, they've added batting cages, they've done safety netting around the commons area. As Mayor said, they are providing a softball opportunity here in West Des Moines. They are essentially what we partner with Sportsplex West on the baseball side of it. They are all volunteer-based, so they do a phenomenal job. I would add that their season starts this weekend. Similar to baseball, they are going from early April through the end of October, and they are about every weekend, they have softball tournaments out there. Last year, the economic impact that girls softball alone brought in $3.9 million to our community. So again, if we look at the millions of dollars that have been invested on the baseball side, what can we do to help girls softball on the softball side to help keep up their facilities, whether it's the ball fields or concession, whatever it might be, we got to keep adding so they can continue to bring in these softball tournaments and that provide the economic impact.
Okay, thank you.
If I can just ask one question real quick, Ryan. Russ brought up, he twisted that thorn about the baseball fields. I presume that we now are watching any grading or anything that takes place on the softball fields so that we don't have another situation like we had with the baseball diamonds, correct?
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you.
And I've heard so many compliments about our Little League baseball fields, just how they're the premier fields in central Iowa, and people love playing there. Councilwoman, do you have any additional?
No, I just want to say thanks for answering my question. I think I don't have anything against any of these organizations or reason. I think transparency is important. I think it's a good exercise to have everybody that's listening understand some of the rationale that went into some of these decisions. So I appreciate the work that both of you have done. But again, feel like at times you just want to have explanation shared and with our listening audience.
Absolutely. And Councilwoman, I really appreciate your questions. They're excellent questions. And as I said earlier, I mean, when I look at this list, when it comes to comparing, a couple things to say. When it comes to comparing last year's funding to this year's funding, but also comparing to how much they requested to how much they're receiving. I think, and that number's not reflected in here as much. And my goodness, we just look at institutions in the city of West Des Moines. I'm looking through and I see Eddie Davis, I see Historic Valley Junction Foundation, I see Tallgrass Theater, I see Tiger Softball, I see West Des Moines Chamber of Commerce. Those are 5 right there. All 5 of those, their funding did drop from last year. That funding, however, when it comes to the amount they applied for and how much they received, the ratios are generally pretty close and whatnot. So when it came to, like, whether it be funds that were reduced, we tried to stay true to at least a similar percentage when it comes to percent requested. And it's hard to, it's a tough thing to do, and it takes quite a few hours to go through it. But I appreciate your questions about transparency, and I was gonna speak to it anyway. But I did have to say, it means a great deal that we have so many groups, including groups that did not apply this year, because there's quite a few groups that did not apply this year that have applied in past years. But this just means that there are people who want to make a difference in West Des Moines with their nonprofit. They want to make a difference in terms of helping our residents with arts, with culture, with debate, with sports. There's just everything is on this list. And it means the world to me constantly that people want to bring their events, their activities to our city, because that is not the case in every city in America. It is not. So I will be eternally grateful that folks even want to apply for these. And while it is tough, I still remain grateful for all of them because they're here making a difference in our city.
I'll add one bullet that hasn't been brought up yet. Last year we had 17 applicants. This year we had 19. So there was 2 more. The robotics and the speech and debate. And the speech and debate and the robotics things were so far out of this world, their applications, especially the speech and debate. That was very good, so.
And the robotics this is a growing field, and this robotics competition could be this could really, really snowball as the years go on. And yes, they did not receive all of their application funding and whatnot, but I think it could be really cool. What's going to be great this year, it's going to be really cool going on too, so.
To the people in the audience who are wondering how much longer we can talk about this topic, I'm going to be real quick. And I'm just going to say a couple things. One thing I want to mention too is that other cities like us get this hotel motel tax. And I'm not sure that a lot of other cities in the metro provide this funding to applicants, nonprofits, especially in their cities. And I ask that because there's a number of people that have come in and applied for funding through our city. And I've said, have you worked to apply for funding through Clive or Urbandale or others when you're asking us for funding for this and they participate in, whatever project that is. And they either haven't done it or there's no funding over there. So I'm proud that we're at least providing some of this funding to some really worthwhile causes. And then the last thing I'll say is something that's kind of near and dear to my heart and something I think we need to pay attention to. And it isn't just, 50% of this money by state law does have to go to putting heads in beds, but the rest of the 50% I think can be used for other items. And one of the things that I do want to mention that we need to really pay attention to is Central Iowa Shelters and Services. Melissa down there does a phenomenal job. We have got a little bit of a homeless situation. A lot of homeless exist in the city of Des Moines, but it's not just Des Moines' problem. It's all of our problems to solve and to make sure that we're taking care of the homeless individuals in our community, making sure that they've got shelter. And if we don't do that, there's serious consequences to that. Health issues, mental health issues, economic development issues, all kinds of things. And if you don't believe me, go visit the city of Portland sometime, who is not doing a very good job, in my opinion, of taking care of the homeless. So I'd like to make sure that we keep an eye on that and keep funding going to CIS as well. So, okay, with that, I believe that we got a motion and a second. Please vote.
Four yes, one abstention due to potential conflict of interest.
Okay, moving on to item 7C, Amendment City Code, Title 6, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 6, Parking Authorized to Remove, Section 12, Officers Authorized to Remove, to add the power to remove illegally parked vehicles on public city-owned parking lots by the police department. We've got an ordinance for approval, the first reading, and there are no outstanding issues.
Motion to consider first reading.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Is there anybody from the audience like to address the council on this item? Anybody online who's hitting *6?
I was a little surprised to read this, that we didn't already have this
Yeah.
ordinance out there. So, because I know I've made some contacts to the police department before, complaints I'm getting down in the Valley Junction area, and I guess I didn't realize that we didn't have it, so I'm glad to see this coming forward.
This is great, and I look forward to a future council meeting where somebody gets towed and comes in here and is upset at Citizens Forum. All right, no, honestly, this is a good thing.
No.
Any other discussion?
Thank you.
Okay, please vote. It's probably going to be me.
5 yes, an ordinance to amend the City Code of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024 by amending Title 6, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 6, Parking Authorized to Remove.
Motion to approve first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 7D, motion approval of traffic code amendment, allow parking on the north side of streets and remove parking on the south side of streets, Cedar Drive, Woodland Avenue East to Woodland Avenue West. We've got an ordinance for approval, the first reading. There are no outstanding issues, and this was approved unanimously by the Public Services City Council Subcommittee.
Move consideration of the first reading.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any from the audience or online like to address council on this item? Okay, any discussion on the dais? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance to amend the City Code of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024 by amending provisions pertaining to the traffic code relating to official traffic controls.
Move approval of the first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 8, receive, file, and/or refer. We've got nothing to receive, file, or refer. Item 9, other matters. I know you've got a legislative update, week 12, on the dais here for you. Is there any other matters that any council person would like to raise at this time because they don't want us to watch Caitlin Clark? Okay, hearing none, we stand adjourned.
Oh, my God.